It was a press conference fit for a banana republic. 4 minutes long, no questions taken, and no justification for the unprecedented raid, the what I call state-sanctioned burglary of a president's private residence. And then, without justifying anything at all, he said, well, you just can't. You mustn't criticize the FBI. Listen to Merrick Garland.
The men and women of the FBI and the Justice Department are dedicated, patriotic public servants. Every day, they protect the American people from violent crime, terrorism, and other threats to their safety while safeguarding our civil rights. They do so at great personal sacrifice and risk to themselves. I am honored to work alongside them.
Don't know what that's got to do with the raid on President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, but don't criticize those who work for you, because now they really work for the Attorney General and for Biden, not the American people. There may be somebody who sees this a little bit differently. He's the president of one of the most important organizations out there fighting corruption. It's Judicial Watch, and he's Tom Fitton. Tom, welcome to the Gorka Reality Check.
Hey, Seth, good to be with you. Appreciate the good word.
All right, so you're not allowed to criticize the FBI, just trust them implicitly. I, as someone who has worked with thousands of agents and intelligence analysts over the years, sadly, Tom, if they knocked on my door today, I would say, go pound sand and talk to my lawyer. Am I wrong?
Oh, certainly on political investigations, the FBI can't be trusted to manage a jaywalking case. And the most charitable interpretation of what Garland did to Trump is his Justice Department compromised the agents of the FBI by involving them in an illicit raid on the former president's home and the putative challenger to President Biden. It was a political raid. It might as well have been a party raid of the Trump residence. And any agency involved in it has been irredeemably tainted beyond what has already ruined their reputations in terms of the targeting of Trump with the spying using Russia as the pretext.
Now, it's thanks to you and your team at Judicial Watch that action was taken to try and get hold of the affidavit, the warrant that they refused to use at Mar-a-Lago to find out what the supporting evidence is. The judge stalled, DOJ stalled. This peculiar case, this judge, Tom, is connected to the Epstein child trafficking, underage sex with young girls case. He was a federal prosecutor, Bruce Reinhardt, and then he ended up defending Epstein's pilot. Why would you refuse to uncover the reason for this raid? And can we trust the DOJ's logic?
Well, given the judge the benefit of the doubt, and you raise questions about whether he's pro or anti-Trump in terms of bias, it's the FBI's responsibility and the Justice Department's responsibility to be forthright with the judge. And my concern is, and one of the reasons we've been in court successfully in part getting more information about the raid, is that the Justice Department has a demonstrated record of abusing their authorities to target Trump. And the evidence is they did it here. You know, my view is there was no good faith justification for this raid. And when we find out the details, that's going to be confirmed, that they were making it up as they go along, changing the rules on the fly. And you may have followed, Seb, back in the day, the Clinton sock drawer case that Judicial Watch had pursued. He kept tapes after his presidency depicting reportedly conversations he had with foreign leaders and members of Congress and such, the sort of records that presumably might be presidential. We litigated over that. And the courts told us, the Justice Department told us, the National Archives told us, you can't get behind the president's decision to classify records personal versus presidential. So when this first emerged in the early part of this year, Seb, I'm like, well, what is going on here? They've completely changed their view, because the Justice Department had told the court explicitly that if the president has them after he's in office, they're presumptively his personal. And so as far as I'm concerned, Trump should get every single record they took back, not just his passports.
Tom, I need to ask one more question with regards to what happens next. So President Trump has been completely open, completely transparent. He wants the warrant to be disclosed. He wants the affidavit to be disclosed. What is your advice to him going forward, given that this is not only a midterm election year, but he is likely going to announce his candidacy for the president imminently? What should his legal strategy do next?
Well, as a supremely qualified non-lawyer, I think his legal strategy should be highlighting the reality of the Constitution and the law that allows him to have these records as personal records. He should demand all of his records back. And I don't think Trump needs to be educated as to what is motivating the Biden gang in targeting him. This is just the same side of the coin. The agencies that abused him through spying are now abusing him with raids that have no justification. And in my view, when you tell a court there's classified information and that there are presidential records, when in fact your prior legal position has been in similar circumstances, they're neither classified nor presidential records, that to me is evidence of corruption. And of course, when you compare and contrast what they did with Hillary, everything they're doing with Trump, they refuse to do with Hillary. Again, more evidence of a politicized process.
And in this case, it's very different because there's no evidence that he destroyed any classified information. We know that Hillary Clinton destroyed the highest level classified emails on an unsecure server. God bless you, Tom, all the team, Chris, everybody else. Check out their website. Here it is, judicialwatch.org. Please support them, one of the few important organizations in this city that is actually fighting the good fight on your behalf. Please support them, judicialwatch.org.